All right, folks, welcome to your stats exam number 1 test review video. I guess your exam number 1 video. You know, it's a little redundant there. Anyway, I got to make it for my iPhone here, so hopefully this video doesn't stink too bad. Number 1, folks, we did go over number 1 in class. Make the pie chart, so simply take, 34 divided by 114, that's just add them up. 24 divided by 114, 39 divided by 114, 17 divided by 114. Find the percents, and then again make it look pretty realistic there. Guys, number 2, find the fine number summary for the following 15 years. Order them as we talked about in class. 90 is the true middle. That means we're going to kind of remove it from that middle there. Then 84 is quartile 1, 96 quartile 2. The min and the max, easy to find. There is the box plots. IQR is quartile 3 minus quartile 1. I'll give you that formula. 1.5 times that is 18. Take Q1 minus 18, Q3 plus 18. There are no outliers because no number is less than 66 and greater than 114. All right, you just use your calc for this, folks. Stat, edit, list 1, type in all the numbers, and you hit stat, calc. Number 1 variable stats, and then you want those two things, and that is what they are. Again, this is one you're going to more practice on your own. Just got to use your calc. All right, when you do X bar plus or minus 2 standard deviations, you get no outliers there. You get no outliers. Make a time series plot. Okay, good luck. That's what it is. That one actually looks pretty good. It's not bad. It does not have to go, it just goes in chronological order like the numbers are given. You just got to assume the time series plot, the numbers given to you, you got the first year to the last year. Make a stem plot. We did this one in class too. Again, this video is going to be shaky. I don't exactly have surgeon hands here. All right. Define the following variables as categorical or quantitative. We did this one in class. There they are. And that one should be pretty easy. I think you do have 10 of these on your quiz. It'll be about a point a piece. There should be 10 very easy points to get. Calculate by hand the sample mean and the standard deviation. Okay, X bar, there are 6 numbers. So X bar is 10. Then you find the individual deviations and you square them. You add them up. I will give you these formulas. So S squared is 28, the sum of those numbers divided by n minus 1. So there are 6 numbers divided by 5. Then take the square root, 2.37. Probably won't go over this one in class, so let's talk about this. The X that you're evaluating is 5.5, so X is simply pounds. I want the probability that, again, that's another way to write it, with the probability that you get a Z that is less than that. That's this. We're really looking for, the probability that our birth weight is less than 5.5. People write it kind of the same way. Okay, what is the probability? So you should not write that as a percent. You should write it as a probability. You get negative 1.60. I forgot to add the 0 there. And 0.548. What's the probability that it's going to be between 5.5 and 10? So probability that X is between 5.5 and 10. Where's the answer? Right there. Okay, so for 10 pounds, it has a Z-score of 2. We already did the 5.5, Z-score of negative 1.6. That's the area associated with that Z-score. That's the area associated with the Z-score of 2. Subtract them, 92.24. What percentile is a 9.5 pound baby? That was me 30 years and 1.5 months ago. Z-score of 1.6, so 9.452, almost the 95th percentile. All right, SAT math scores are given like that. You score that in critical reasoning, that in math. In which section did you perform better? Show by a Z-score comparison. All right, so those are your 2 Z-scores. You scored better, it looks like, in the math, right? Yep. Greater Z-score equals greater performance. Okay, whatever the greater Z-score is, that's what you did better in. So it does look like you did better in math. All right, if you scored a 700 in critical reasoning, what would your percentile be? 1.71, look that up. 9564 means you're like in the basically 95th percentile. In order to get an East Coast University's engineering program, you need to be top 10% on the SAT math. Top 10%, that's the 90th percentile. You're looking for the z-score that has an area closest to that. It's 1.28. We've done that a bunch. Multiply, then add 511. Basically need a 664. Bottom 25% score. All right, closest to, that's the 25th percentile, so closest to 2500. That was negative 0.67. Multiply, then add. That makes sense. It should be lower than 495. All right, and then on the first part, again, this was last year's review. Now you have, so SAT math scores and then ACT math scores. All right. So a score of 650 on the SAT math would be what on the ACT math? So find the z-score, that's 1.7 or 1.16. If I want to do the same performance percentile-wise, I need the same z-score. Okay, so if I got a z-score of 1.16 on the SAT math, I want to get that on the ACT math. So then just multiply, then add. It's basically a 27. If you got a 27 on the ACT math, what's the corresponding score on the SAT math? Okay, we did round that up to 27, so don't assume that it's the same, 650. It's going to be close, obviously, but I want the exact answer. So find the z-score associated with the 27 on the ACT math, 1.18. 1.18 equals this, multiply, then add 511. There you go. Find the two respective top 25 percent scores on the ACT math and SAT math. So that's the 75th percentile. Both have z-scores of 0.67, and just put in their mean and standard deviations. There you go. All right, that was like the first part of your review. So the second part of your review, here, number 11, find the area to the left. So just look up the area associated with that z-score, and because it's to the left, you keep it. Look up the area associated with that z-score. Because it's to the right, you subtract. There's the answer for C. Again, these should be pretty easy. Anytime it's to the right, you subtract it from 1. Find its complement. Anytime it's to the right, you subtract it from 1. Anytime it's to the left, you keep it, because that's what the standard normal table gives you, that Z table. It gives you the area to the left. Anytime it's between, or you find the area associated with both, then you subtract. Area associated with both, and then you subtract. Area associated with both, then you subtract. Now, this is a very important one. This is a 95% confidence interval. It's going to be very important for you later. Area associated with both, and then you subtract. Now, area to the left of that has that area, or the area to the right. So the area to the right, you got to subtract it from 1. Then, because I want to know, what's the area under, to the left or to the right, I got to add them together. So I want to know both those, the sum of those two areas. Area to the left of that is that, exactly what the Z table gives me. The area to the right, I got to find the complement of that, and then add them together. Area to the left, I keep that. Area to the right, I find the complement of that, add them together. All right, so I think that's a pretty good question there. Then here's another one, 14. Just use your calc, just like before. That's what I got. Take your time. Your interval, plus or minus 2 standard deviations is that. There is an outlier. 23.34 is a slow outlier. All right, I do like this one because of the negatives. Because you have negatives, and look at that, that range from negative 12 to 24, that's a big range. Your mean is 8, so 24 is definitely very far. So is 18, so is negative 3, negative 12. Those are very far from it, so it makes sense that we get a big standard deviation. X bar is 8, and then do negative 12, that's that number, minus the mean squared. That's 400, wow. And then same thing, folks. Just take a look at that. Take the square root of 156 1/3. Standard deviation is 12.5. All right, here's number 17. I do like this. What's the middle 50%? Middle 50% means what two numbers differ by 50? That's 75 and 25. So the 25th percentile, 75th percentile. Okay, we've done this. Just round it to the nearest tenth. The middle 90%, what two numbers differ by 90? That's 5 and 95. Okay, that's the one where we use 3 numbers because it falls exactly between. There it is. And we will do this one in class also. 10% of pregnancies last blank days or longer. I want to be in the top 10% of pregnancy length, so that's the 90th percentile. So I use 1.28. Okay, there we go. And then lastly, I did a few on this next page, the 10th percentile. Let's just look up z-score that has an area closest to 0.100. Again, not 0.1. There it is. 60th percentile is kind of a weird one, but that's 0.25. 98th percentile. So you want to look what z-score has an area closest to 0.9800. A lot of people get this one wrong. It's got to be 9900, so be careful. A lot of students look at like the 999. You don't want that. Anyway, folks, I think that's a pretty decent review of all those answers. Your test, your exam number 1 is tomorrow, Wednesday the 19th. This is Yak Math.